With me now is Dr Phoebe Moore, who's a lecturer in international relations at Salford University, and Dr Rhetta Moran from Unite Against Fascism. Doctors, welcome.
Thank you.
Dr Moore, let's start with you. There's been much made about why the BBC have invited Mr Griffin onto Question Time, to boost ratings, some have said, to be impartial. What is the position of the BBC? I mean, their charter says they have to be impartial, does it not?
Well, Mark Thompson, who's the Director General of the BBC, has come out in defence of having him on the show. Policy of impartiality, though, and I would take issue, as does Ken Livingstone, with this particular decision. For example, recently the BBC would not broadcast the Gaza Strip survival aid appeal.
Because they hadn't broadcast any other appeals.
Well, this is it. And then
they have to maintain. They say they can't maintain a view one way or the other.
Exactly. So this is the point. But I don't believe that that's a policy of impartiality. That's what I'm saying. So they're allowing the broadcasting and the airing of essentially a Nazi is a difficult decision. So.
They are allowing an elected representative of the northwest of England to appear on television along with other elected representatives, is what the BBC are doing. Some people don't like what the man has to say and for what he stands, but he's entitled to be there, isn't he?
Absolutely. And the fact that he got 1 million votes to be to act, for example, they've got 2 representatives in the EU, in the European Parliament now, which I think is very funny as well, because if you think about their position on the EU, what does it mean? Britain's position in the EU is severely challenged if what they're actually saying about the European Parliament would actually come to the fore.
So, Dr Moran, is it not exactly right, then, that a man should appear on Question Time and have these apparent holes in his policies explored and exposed?
There is no debating with Nazis, and it's important to be crystal clear.
He would maintain he's not a Nazi.
Yes, but actually you just need to look at the progression of this Nazi's words over the last decade to understand from his own mouth that what he's actually engaged in is an attempt to adjust the image of the party, not what the party actually wants and not what the party actually stands for.
But electors can see through that. Some say that Mr Cameron has tried to adjust the image of the Tory party and not been terribly successful.
Well, the problem is that what you've got in terms of the BNP is a party that wants to use the platform of democratic process in order to smash that platform. That's actually what Nazism, what fascism is about. It uses the structures of democracies in order to find itself able to occupy a position within them, electorally in this instance.
But if we don't give them the opportunity to express their views, then they can cry them out of position and say, they'll make great play about not being allowed to be on the programme because we're elected and then everybody's playing against us. The BBC are not being impartial like they should be.
Well, the BBC is not being impartial here, certainly. It's extraordinary that the laws around that could have been invoked around incitement against racial hatred, incitement against physical violence have not been invoked. They weren't invoked to stop him going on to the BBC tonight. They weren't invoked
if he incites racial hatred on the programme tonight, it won't be broadcast. This is a pre-recorded programme. It's always broadcast. We can't presuppose what he's going to say.
Well, you can actually on the base, because what he'll do is he will attempt to accommodate at one point or another. What's happening is that the media is giving him a platform upon which he will attempt to, at one point or another, put a sop forward to his hard right. And that's the problem with allowing him to get any kind of airplay at all. You need to understand, this is a Holocaust denier. This is a man who has been criminally convicted for denying the reality of the Holocaust. This is a man who has claimed that the Stephen Lawrence murder was not racially motivated, and does this very regularly in terms of racially motivated attacks.
And will be brought to task, I'm sure, by a
well, he's not being brought to task when he's being allowed to...
Mr Dimbleby will pick him up. Chris Huhne is no slouch. Bonnie Greer knows what she's talking about.
The very fact that they're prepared to sit in the same physical space and breathe the same air as him is actually all that Nick Griffin is going to enjoy out of that experience. It gives Nick Griffin a level of legitimation that in no way whatsoever should he be allowed to enjoy in any measure. He is avowedly anti-Muslim. He is avowedly anti-Islam. Look around you. This beautiful Urbis centre that we're sitting in now, that's actually all about the multiculturalism of this city, all about the multiculturalism of our heritage.
I'm sure that people will watch very closely and will analyse Mr Griffin's every word, but we'll have to leave it there, ladies. Thank you very much indeed for your time.